Take it easy, yeah?
Is this beast a shade as well?
No! You've got to stop this!
Tool hope to stand against the Shadow Lord.
I don't want to hurt my friends!
Kill him, you glorious bastard!
I have a reason to live!
Emilio! Oh. Oh, Emil.
We're the same. Tools in the hands of a master.
This ends here!
Kaine!
Our true memories are still there. How dare you ignore them?
We were hoping to put it off for 100 years or so.
I shall fight by their side, now and forever.
I'm tired of this world and everybody in it. But I'll become his sword one last time.
No! Kaine!
I'm gonna save you! I swear it!
Thanks for always being there for me.
Whenever I interacted with Kaine, I was reminded about something from my past. Maybe my mind has been confusing her with my sister this whole time. Anyway...
Hi, Corpsey. Hi, Keeble. I wonder where we're gonna start this off. The sound of rain filled the village. The steep cliffs that surround the area magnified sound, causing even the slightest drizzle to rattle like a thunderstorm. Then wisps of smoke steamed from huts as the villagers huddled in their homes and waited the rain. A single child, however, had braved the downpour and was now wandering slowly towards the wooden, hawk-shaped weather vane at the center of the town. The wanderer reached the vane, which had existed for as long as any could remember, and stared. The child's face was simultaneously delicate and fierce, like a teacup that had survived a shipwreck. Those traits combined with the pale skin to give the face an almost sexless quality. If the beak turns east, I go home. If it stays west, then The child blinked. Rain slowly dripped down the young one's short hair and began its long descent to the ground. Come on. Come on. The child felt a slight breeze and watched as the vein slowly creaked to life. And for a moment, it finally settled with the beak pointing firmly towards the east. East? Really? Before the vein could move again, a jagged rock came spinning and tumbled through the air, striking home against the child's head. The force of the blow dropped the child to the ground as a hail of stones began to fall all around. Oh no, they found me. A heartbreaking smile crept across the child's face as the stones continued their assault. Through the rain, the sound of multiple footsteps grew louder before a voice rang out. Yoo-hoo! Kaine! The voice belonged to Demo? Worst of all the bullies in the area. As Kaine struggled to stand, a final stone came skittering through the mud and bounced against her foot. Blood oozed from the cut above her eye and blurred her vision. But she could make out the shape of Demo and his usual gang of idiots. The boy seemed taken aback for a moment by Kaine's seeming indifference to the blood dripping from her face, but quickly regained his bravado. What's up, freak? You like the rain? You like getting all wet? Or did you finally decide to run away from home? Though she knew it was futile, Kaine turned to leave. Before she could get more than a few steps, the other children scrambled to surround her, cruelty burning in their eyes. Kaine knew those were not the only eyes on her. The tormentors, parents, watched from the safety of their homes. She was attuned to the sensation. It was one she had experienced many times before. While some villagers simply turned a blind eye to the actions of their children, many encouraged it openly. In a society ruled by superstition and fear, Kaine was something to be hated, and if possible, destroyed. I didn't say you could leave, freak. Demo's words chewed at her like a worm through an apple. He can't hurt me, she lied to herself. Be strong. Be brave. He can't hurt me. He can't hurt me. He can't hurt. Oh, look, the little freak is gonna cry. What's wrong? Are you sad that everyone hates you and wants you dead? Kaine prayed for the rain to flood down and carry her away from the world that seemed to have no place for her. But if there were gods, they chose to ignore her. As Demo crept even closer, or ever closer, the clouds began to thin and the rain slowed. Even the weather hates me. I'm useless. A failure. I wish Demo's rock had taken my head off. Kaine couldn't meet Demo's leering gaze. She lowered her eyes and stared at the muddy ground below. The bully moved forward until he was inches away. She could smell the scent of old meat on his breath. The boy grabbed Kaine's face with thick fingers and yanked it upward. She tried to turn away, but he forced her gaze back and jammed his thumb against her eyelid to pry it open. Show me. No. Did you just say no? Demo grinned evilly. You don't say no to me. No one says no to me. Not even taking his attention from Kaine, he called to his cohorts. Come on, guys. Let's give this freak what she deserves. As soon as Demo finished, kicks and blows began to rain upon Kaine. Demo paused, still grinning, as Kaine curled into a ball and tried to make the pain stop. I don't get you, freak. What you acting like a girl for, huh? Everyone knows what you really are. Kaine ignored the question, choosing instead to stare at the weather vane. It continued to point east, as if supremely confident about the future it had chosen for her. Go home? Yeah, that's a funny joke for someone with dead parents and no home to go to. Freak, chanted the children. Freak, freak, freak. Kaine closed her eyes and listened to the rain, waiting for the pain to start again. As the clutching hands of the village children closed around her, she bent her mind to the sound of the rain, letting it become her world entire. The rain fell, but the pain never came. Only when the laughter of her tormentors turned to terrified cries did she dare open a single blood-caked eye. Kaine was shocked to see Demo sprawled on the ground, holding his head and screaming in pain. She could see blood welling from spaces between his fat, twisted fingers. Oh my God, he's crying. He's actually crying. Deprived of their leader, the other children glanced back and forth between themselves, as if waiting for someone to step forward to take charge. When no savior emerged, they began an uneasy shuffle away from Kaine. But the young girl was the least of their concerns. Instead, their attention was wrapped on the ancient woman standing a few feet away. Ancient woman? After struggling for breath for a moment, she finally spoke in a voice thick with rage. Hurts like a bitch, don't it? Now I suggest you scatter before I throw you another one. And if any of you little bastards ever touch my Kaine again, I'll do far worse than throw a rock, you can count on it. The old woman crouched down and gently touched the hand Demo was using to cover the wound. Before he could think to protest, she ground her palm into the wound and twisted it back and forth. Ow! He screamed. Leaped to his feet. Stop! What are you doing? Quit whining. Ain't no one ever died from a scratch. You hit me with a rock, you stupid bitch. And a big one. That could have killed me. The old woman shrugged. Death is the best cure for stupid. Demo's face twisted with rage at her words. Locking his eyes on Kaine, he took a step backwards and spat on the ground. Get out! Leave this village! No one wants you here, either of you! Seeing the old woman grab another stone, Demo and his companions turned tail and ran. As they fled, the old woman grabbed her side and barked out a single laugh. Ha! Look at that fat boy go. Guess he's healthy enough to run from a fight. The woman's smile faded as she turned her attention to Kaine. Kneeling down, she removed her shawl and placed it around the young girl's shoulders, then produced a cloth from the folds of her dress and began blotting at the blood on her forehead. "Oh, Kaine," she said. "Why didn't you fight back? You're stronger than the lot. The words of her grandmother stung Kaine and she turned away. "Don't be nice to me," she said. "I don't deserve it. Nothing matters anymore." Her tears, held in check for so long, finally began to fall on the muddy ground below. "Everyone hates me. They think I cause bad things to happen. They think I'm a freak. I wish I was dead." As Kaine's tears turned to sobs, she felt her grandmother's hand on her shoulder. Despite her advanced age and diminutive size, she was a woman of surprising strength, and Kaine found herself unable to turn away. "Don't talk like that, girl. It's a river wide and deep that flows between the realms of this world and the next, and it grants no mercy to any that attempt the crossing. You got a duty to fight until your last breath. Understand?" The old woman tightened her grip and tried to still the tremor in her voice. "You know the pain of losing someone close to you, Kaine. You know because you survived it." As the words hit home, Kaine was struck by the force of her love for the old woman. As a young child, she didn't even know her grandmother, but when her parents died, the woman quickly accepted her as her own. Grandma, as Kaine called her, was cunning, vulgar, and quick to violence, and their first few years together had not been so easy. But with each year that passed, Kaine and her grandmother had grown closer. However, it was only now, sitting in the mud with tears and blood caking her face, that Kaine truly understood the depths of her affection. Here was a woman who had seen hard times, who had seen death, who had fought through all these things and somehow emerged on the other side. If anyone could understand Kaine's pain and loneliness, it was her. "Do I make you sick, Grandma?" "Course not. Don't be an ass." Kaine drew her grandmother's moth-eaten shawl around her body and shuddered. "But my body, it's not normal. If it was normal, then Mom and Dad wouldn't..." "Hush," interrupted Grandma. "I'll not hear another word of this nonsense. You're my granddaughter, and I love you. And if folks have a problem with that, they can just go to hell." With that, the old woman reached out and placed a wreath of dried flowers on Kaine's hair. The skill it took to bend the flowers without breaking the stems or losing a single petal was remarkable, and the beauty of it made Kaine want to cry all over again. "Oh my gosh, these are lunar tears. Grandma, you made this for me?" Lunar tears were legendary flowers. Most people could live their entire lives without ever seeing one. And yet, her grandmother had somehow collected a dozen or more. Kaine reached up and touched the wreath, as if she couldn't believe it was real. Where did you find these? Just stumbled on them while I was out doing the shopping. The old woman turned away as she spoke, leading Kaine to suspect that the search had been more difficult than she was letting on. The pains she took to construct the ornament, let alone track down the flowers used in its construction, made Kaine's heart hurt. She reached up and gently adjusted the wreath, admiring the way it felt in her fingers, or between her fingers. She reached up gently. Oh wait, didn't quite turn out right, said her grandmother, as she squinted at it. These old hands have trouble with delicate work, but it sure looks good on a pretty girl like you. Kaine blushed and looked and turned away. You think I'm pretty? Of course you are. What a fool thing to say. Thank you, Grandma. Her grandmother smiled. We're gonna be fine, you and me, she said. Long as we've got each other, we'll be fine. Kaine took her grandmother's hand in hers, and the two of them struggled to their feet. As they began the long walk home, Kaine gripped the hand with all her might, as if trying to stop smoke from drifting away in the wind. The rain stopped. Kaine stood beneath the weather vane, watching it spin in lazy circles, no longer caring about the direction it faced when it stopped. I don't need to escape. I have a home now. Grandma loves me, and that's enough. Even if it's us against the world. Kaine let her gaze drift up to the vane and into the cloudy sky. The last faint hints of a rainbow were slowly fading. As she turned and headed for home, the light scattered into a million particles and vanished, seemingly taken away on the breeze. In the distance, Kaine heard the steady sound of an axe striking wood. The noise had a purposeful quality to it, as if she was hearing a master woodsman go about his work. The firewood being produced, however, was as far from work of art as could be. Pieces of every shape and size were being flung about a barren yard with wild abandon. Anyone trying to stack such wood would probably die of frustration before the job was through. Stupid piece of shit axe! Kaine's grandmother flailed away with the axe, filling the air with both splinters of wood and words that would make the most hardened sailors blush. Grandma, called Kaine. That you, Kaine? Yelled the old woman, taking her eyes off the wood for a moment. Don't get too close or I might take your goddamn foot off by mistake. She brought the axe down on a piece of wood, sending chips flying in every direction. One spun past Kaine close enough for her to hear the whistle, at which point she decided to step back. Once she'd scuttled to a safe distance, she cupped her hands around her mouth and shouted, Grandma! Do you need help? I can get you water, or lunch, or A new axe or something? The axe, poised to strike another wobbly blow, paused in midair. The old woman considered her granddaughter's offer for a moment, then smiled. Tell you what, since I'm doing such a piss-poor job at chopping, why don't you come here and take over so I can go get the water? Shades have been restless lately, and I don't want you running into them bastards. Sorry, I'm eating a pizza roll. Relinquishing the axe, her grandmother picked up a long pole with wooden buckets on either end. Gathering water was by far the more difficult of the two jobs, but Kaine knew better than to complain. Once Grandma's mind was set, there was no changing it. Kaine did her best to help with chores, but Grandma took every task that required travel to the village. And though she had a long list of plausible excuses, Kaine knew the real reason. She didn't want her grandmother to be taunted and harassed by the villagers. Once Kaine moved in, Grandma decided to take up residence a good distance from the area. Out of sight, out of mind seemed to be the best policy when it came to the villagers and her granddaughter. And rare were the days when any but the two of them could be found on the rocky acre of land they called home. Kaine enjoyed the solitude, but harbored a secret resentment that her grandmother was forced to spend her golden years in such a place. After watching her grandmother leave, Kaine turned her attention to the task at hand. She had never chopped wood before in her life, and soon discovered why the old woman hated the chore. Swing after swing of the axe produced only tiny cracks in the wood, and when she finally managed to connect with a solid stroke, the tool embedded itself in the log and refused to budge. Frustrated, Kaine swung the axe around her head and threw it, log and all, across the yard. Damn it! Oh crap. She suddenly understood the joy her grandmother felt in a good curse. Happier now, she picked up the axe, forced it from the wood, and resumed chopping. She had a natural skill with the blade, but the task was challenging, and blisters soon began to form in her small pink hands. This is tough. And my logs were all weird sizes. Spitting on her palms and ignoring the pain, Kaine redoubled her efforts. Just as she was developing a rhythm, Grandma returned from the village. Setting down her buckets with a small sigh, she took one look at the logs and coughed out a wheezy laugh. Pretty clumsy, girl. You better practice if you... Her grandmother suddenly collapsed to her knees, causing one of the buckets to wobble precariously. Eyes wide, Kaine dropped the axe and ran to her grandmother's side. Grandma! The old woman shook her head and pointed a trembling finger at the bucket. Get the bucket. Can't let it spill. Kaine steadied the bucket with one foot as she knelt by her grandmother. A small bit of water sloshed over on the side and made a new home in the hem of her dress, but Kaine didn't notice. Grandma, what's happening? Crazed with panic, she grabbed her grandmother by the shoulder and shook. After a moment, the woman lifted her arms and batted Kaine away. Stop that! Just stop! She cried, breathing heavily. It ain't like I'm dying. Just tired from the trip is all. Kaine desperately wanted to believe her, but one look at the old woman's shaking hands and worn face told her more than words ever could. Her grandmother had lived a long, hard life, and it seemed the bill was finally coming due. The time when her grandmother watched over Kaine was ending, sooner than either of them had feared. The position would be reversed. The next morning, Kaine came to the side of her grandmother's bed and took her wrinkled hand. "Grandma, you're sick, and you need medicine. I'm going to the village." The old woman shook her head and tried to rise, but Kaine gently pushed her down. "It's all right," she said. "I'll be fine." Her grandmother fixed her with a gaze that could melt steel. After what seemed an eternity, she finally lowered her eyes and sighed. "Well, I don't like it, goddammit. But I guess I shouldn't quit. I guess I should quit being so stubborn and let you grow up." The old woman watched as Kaine strapped on her boots and made her way down the road to the village. Hours later, as an unseen sun made its way across the dark, rainy sky, she was still watching. Kaine moved at a brisk pace, checking her pockets every few minutes to make sure the money her grandmother gave her was still there. Every noise caused her to spin on her heels, making sure she wasn't being stalked by a shade, or worse, Demo and his gang. But she encountered neither tormentors nor shades, and finally found herself at the entrance to the village. The few adults she could see glanced sideways at her, then muttered to each other behind raised hands before slinking away into the shadows. Her heart racing, Kaine took a series of rapid, shallow breaths and tried to calm herself. "I have to prove myself. I have to help Grandma. I have to be strong." She chanted those words over and over as she slowly made her way. Her eyes settled on the rotund older woman who was angrily waving her arms in the air and telling anyone who would listen exactly what she thought of Kaine's presence. I need some water. Hold on. This is a lot of talking. This is a lot of talking. Trying to open some Wawa. Mogu. Did you hear me take a bite of my pizza roll? I tried to be discreet about it. It was like, it wasn't 4K, not gonna lie. Was it that obvious? That's funny. I can't help it, they're so yummy. You tell me not, you try not to eat Tostitos while you're playing a game. I don't know why, I've been really wanting Tostito pizza rolls today. I don't know why. I don't usually eat them. I just really wanted some today. I mean, they are a good snack. Totino the pizza boy, what? Tostitos. Tostito pizza rolls. "Hey lady," said Kaine, with a bravado she did not feel. "Where's the apothecary?" The woman's flabby cheeks shook in bewildered anger. "How dare this thing speak to me?" They seemed to say, but Kaine saw that her eyes held a different emotion. Fear. Yeah, we're both scared, lady. Trust me on this one. Which way? Kaine repeated. There was a pizza commercial from Tim and Eric from Tim and Eric on the show. Great. I never really liked the Tim and Eric awesome show. I don't know. It wasn't my cup of tea. I don't know. It was just very weird for me. I don't know. Those kind of shows were weird to me. I never really liked watching them. To be fair, that checks out. Yeah, it's a weird show. Is it still ongoing? Is it still going on? The woman pointed at a small building to her right before hitching up her dress and stumbling off in the other direction. Not anymore? Good. 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 That show was terrible anyways. I didn't like it. You know what show they should bring back? Moral Oral. That was a good show. I liked Oral. They still make content though. I think they do commercials now. I guess money's money, I guess. If anything, wouldn't it have been smarter to jump to like Comedy Central? It got too real in the last season. What happened in the last season? Oh, Moral Oral? Yeah. It's so good though. I watched the whole thing and I cry because the message is so sweet. The show is so raunchy. It's a very dark show, but it has such a beautiful ending. I love the ending. The ending is such a good message. Did you see the ending of Moral Oral? I kind of cry sometimes thinking about it because it's such a good message. You know? Like, even if you come from such a bad, dark place, you can still be such a good person, you know? It was really beautiful. I love how they gave Oral such a happy ending. Despite all of the bad things that happened to him, he still kept his faith. You should watch the whole thing. His character development in like the next seasons, it was crazy. Like he grew up so fast. It was really nice. I liked his character development because the first season I feel like he's the dumbest he is, and when the other seasons happen, he becomes more aware of like what his society and the place that he lives in is. I would recommend just watching actually the whole thing. I wanted to watch that with you guys at some point, but I don't know if Twitch would get mad at me. You know, because it's a pretty vulgar show. It's not like VeggieTales or anything. Okay, where were we? Discord watch along? I'm down to watch along with you guys. After we finish, like, whatever this is, after we finish our first part of this, I can't unhear Jimmy when I hear Oral. Jimmy? Which Jimmy? Jimmy from what? What? Jimmy Neutron? Oral? I don't hear it. And you know what's really cute? You know the voice actor for Oral? She got interviewed and asked what her favorite and most like precious character that she ever voiced was, and she said it was Oral. And I was like, oh, so cute. She really liked oral. And I think she said that she was kind of sad that the show ended so abruptly. But she said that he was her favorite character that she voiced. Okay, let's keep reading. The woman pointed at a small building to her right before hitching up her dress and stumbling off in the other direction. Kaine cringed, expecting a stone to come flying from the assembled crowd, but none came. Her mind was filled with a strange sense of pride as she made her way to the apothecary. But the new emotion had a little time to take root. For as soon as she opened the door, she noticed a familiar customer at the counter. Same voice as Jimmy Neutron? That's weird because I still don't hear it. Maybe it's because I haven't listened to Jimmy Neutron in a long time, but I don't know. From what I heard, Adult Swim was like, okay, you're getting stagnant. You gotta add some drama into the show. Wait, did they say that to Moral Oral? Dude, they can't have said that to Moral Oral. Like, how more dramatic do you want it? How more dramatic do you want the show? Then the last season was like, whoa. Yeah. They should just, you know what? They should just let artists cook, you know? They have an idea. Let them cook, you know? Why stop people from cooking something good, you know? What, you want people to just make like ramen? You want people to make like Maruchan ramen content? Like, I don't want that shit. Make me some good food, you know? Investors, man, people are actually, I blame television, specifically the FCC and everything, because I feel like they were also took a part in it. I'm gonna blame them. I'm gonna blame TV. All the rules that they have for TV, you know? If it's Adult Swim, it should be able to handle all these topics, because all these topics are adult topics, you know? It shouldn't be like looked under the gaze of like children's content, like, oh god, that's too dark. No. That kind of, I think, wasn't it the episode where the teacher was talking about like her, I don't know if I should say the word, but her deleting of her R-word baby, the deletion of her R-word baby, like that trauma, and also the nurse that's kind of infantilized because of like the people in the town, like that stuff that shit happens, you know? But like, I don't know why you would want to like hide that from adult, like that. I don't think that's something that should be like not viewed, you know? It's something to reflect on, because that happens in society, you know? I'm used to real ramen. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think they should just let the creators create, and the people that watch, let them watch if they can watch it, you know? If they can't, then go watch something else. It's as simple as that. If the ramen is too spicy for you, go eat a rice ball. You know what I mean? Nah, I mean, I like these food interpretations. They're kind of funny. But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you shouldn't be afraid to go there. For like, especially if there's a show that has a message that wants to be given, you know? Like, Moral Oral clearly had a message they wanted to give to the world. And it wasn't a bad one. Sure, it showed a lot of bad things, but if you watch all the way to the end, it gives you a really beautiful story, and it gives you a really nice ending. It gives you like hope, you know? As a person that watched the entire series. And I watched the prequel before Oral when he was a little kid. Do you know what I am saying? Like Butters. Gotta learn to play the game. Yes, I know what you are saying. You don't have to keep asking me. It was Demo. He'd clearly been sent here on some kind of family errand, because his gang of followers was nowhere to be found. Oh my god. He sputtered. I mean, what are you doing here, freak? The insult was delivered without force, and Kaine happily ignored it. Stretching on tiptoes to see over the counter, she asked the shopkeeper for the medication. Ha! He barked Demo. That old bitch finally keel over. Go to hell, Demo. The boy's eyes grew so wide, they seemed ready to fall out of his head. But before he could let fly a comeback or worse, a punch, the apothecary told them to knock it off before he kicked them out of the store. Demo slunked out of the shop, cursing Kaine under his breath. Once he was gone, she allowed herself to breathe once more, taking a brief tour of the shop while the owner prepared her medication. I think the apothecary should make a diary. You think so? You think so? Maybe a story of love, a story of... Has season 3 come out for the Apothecary Diaries? I actually watched that while I was on my hiatus last year. It was so good. You haven't seen any of the seasons of the Apothecary Diaries? That's crazy, yo. The last anime I sat down and watched was Ya Boy. What? What is that? I don't even know what that is. Never have time to watch stuff these days. Well, I mean, the only time I really had time to watch it was when I was on my hiatus. It's peak anime. I don't know. Send me like a clip of it on Discord. I'll be the judge of that. I forgot. I was gonna tell you guys about the animes that I watched while I was on hiatus. Countless tiny bottles filled the cramped store, each with a label written in some indescribable language. An ocean of aromas assaulted her nose, creating a scent that was exotic but not altogether unpleasant. Man, I feel like it would be cool to be an apothecary. I find it very interesting. I low-key kind of want to learn, like, medicinal plants. Maybe I should. Maybe we should. Seeing such a variety of supplies gave Kaine a sense of peace. Surely in a world so vast, there would be a place that she could call home. In short, version is that 3 Kingdoms tactician. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Got reversed isekai'd into modern day what? That's interesting. I wonder how that played out. Oh wait, so basically was it kind of like Inuyasha going into like the Kagome's era? Is it kind of like that? Like culture shock like that? On the far wall behind the counter rested a portrait of a stunning young girl. The picture had once contained bright, vibrant colors, but time had worked its cruel magic, and they were beginning to fade. The beauty of the work, however, remained undiminished. He found a girl at a bar who sung a song, and he was so moved by her voice that he decided, I'm going to lend my tactician knowledge to make your singing voice known throughout the world. Except he can't go back. Huh. Like, is there like definitively no way back? So like he's there forever, or they can find a way or something? I don't know. I'm just curious. Tactician knowledge? What's tactician knowledge? So what? He was gonna be like her manager or something? You like that picture? Kaine turned to find the apothecary with a small vial of medicine in his hand. His eyes were gentle but sad, and they seemed to stare through her until nothing as he spoke. That's my daughter. I sketched it when she was just a little girl. She's been dead for a long time now. Like, he died in his actual time and woke up in the current time. Oh, okay, so it's that kind of isekai. For some reason, I was thinking it was something like Inuyasha, like, oh, maybe there's a magic well he can go back in time with. Okay, so he really can't go back. Okay. That's interesting. Kaine didn't know how to respond. She just stared at the portrait and tried to come up with the right words. Oh, but as we were talking about the Apothecary Diaries, you should really watch it. You know, another series I tried watching during my hiatus last year was Hell Girl. Because I was always curious. I was like, is Hell Girl just like a 1-2 season thing? Because I think when I was younger, I only watched like a season or two. And then I stopped watching it. And apparently there's like 6 seasons or something. And I watched up until like, till like 4. And I'm just like, dude, this is just the same stuff over and over. And it's not, I don't know. I kind of got sad about it. Because I'm like, I thought they would go farther or like, you know, go more deeper into the lore of like Hell Girl and stuff, but it wasn't really that crazy. It just kept repeating over and over. He also thought he woke up in the afterlife because it happened to be Halloween, so everyone in costume and everyone thought it was a guy. Oh, well, that's the perfect time to get isekai'd. Halloween. I have the first 6 volumes of the manga. Of which one? The one you're talking about, or Hell Girl? I wish I had time to read manga. I can't. I don't have time. The only thing I'm reading is the Bible. Other than that, I don't read anything. Well, except for this, but... Pictures are wonderful things, continued the shopkeeper. They let one's closest to you live on forever. But yeah, I kind of got disappointed with Hell Girl. I thought it would get creepier and creepier, but it didn't. And that kind of disappointed me because I was hoping for it to get creepier, you know? I mean, it's Hell Girl. Why wouldn't it get creepier, you know? I gave it... If I was to give it a score, I'd give it like a... Out of 10, I would give Hell Girl maybe like a... This is gonna be mean, but I'm gonna give it a 4. It's not that great after the first 2 seasons. I'm surprised they were even able to make more than 2 seasons. No tea, no shade, but... He shook his head slightly and then looked down at Kaine and smiled. Handing her the medicine, he reached into his sizable green apron and produced a handful of old wax crayons. You should have these. There's no one left that I wish to draw. It's the Japan version, though. What do you mean the Japan version? Either way, the story is the same, isn't it? Which has a bit of a different concept. It does. Is it different than the anime? Kaine took an instinctive step back, causing the shopkeeper's face to darken. Yes, I've heard the rumors about you, he said. It's a small village, and words travel quickly. between you and me, I'm not sure which of them to believe. But I also don't think they matter much. I know your grandmother, Callie, and I think the way she was driven out of this town is just deplorable. Grandma's name is Callie? Thought Kaine said. Did she really not know her grandma's name this entire time? She's just been calling her grandma. She was still mulling this new fact over in her mind as she reached out gently and took the crayons from the apothecary's hands. Your grandmother is an old friend of mine, he said as Kaine scooted away, and I owe her much. I wager she would like it if you drew a picture of her. Yes, I think she would like that very much. Kaine murmured a quiet agreement, but inside her heart was bursting. Never before had a villager treated her with anything but complete contempt. It was tiny, almost imperceptible step, but it was a step nonetheless. And with enough tiny steps, she might one day discover the rest of the world. I meant Japan's hell is different. You mean their concept of hell itself? Like their rendition of hell is different? I think it's different for every country, isn't it? Every culture has different views of the afterlife. When Kaine returned home, she found her grandmother asleep in her bed. Speaking of like different variants of hell, it reminded me that during my hiatus, Oto-san wanted to watch. One of his friends recommended Apocalypto to him, and he was like, "Have you ever heard of the movie Apocalypto?" I'm like, "Heck yeah, I watched it when I was like 11." And he was like, "Oh, well, one of my friends at work recommended it to me because Lesson is he's very interested in like world history and human history. So his friends were like, "Oh, you should really watch this, you know, because it's really interesting. It's very like interesting seeing how, you know, these people thought and believed and did all these things." And he didn't know anything about the movie, and I was like, are you being serious? Do you really want to watch that movie? And he was like, "Yeah, I mean, my friend recommended it." And I'm just like, "Okay." And he's like, why are you asking? Is it bad? And I'm just like, "No, it's a little dark. It's a little spooky. I'm not gonna lie, you know? But hey, I watched it when I was like 11, so if I could handle it then, we should be fine now." And then we finally watched it together. And he was like, "Oh my god." And I was like, "Yeah, crazy, right? This crazy movie. It was so crazy." There was an old anime I'd recommend called Requiem from the Darkness. Requiem from the Darkness. I've never heard of that. What is it about? But yeah, watching it again as an adult, man, those actors were crazy good. Holy shit. I thought it was such a scary movie when I watched it the first time when I was a kid, but like watching it back, I'm like, damn, these guys are committed. These guys are like real fucking actors. Like, damn. It was crazy. It was crazy rewatching it. Have you seen that movie? Kipo? Sorry, I ate another Tostitos. Gosh, when are we gonna get to the game? This is the game. Whee! friends going to town to purify some anomaly in town. The main characters kind of tags along. It's been a while since I saw it, so... Is it like an anime or is it like a live action thing? Send me clips. Oh, you haven't seen dude. Oh my god. If you don't like gore, if you don't like murder, because it's pretty brutal. It's pretty fucking brutal. I would put it on par close to like what was that movie that Mel Gibson made? Passion of the Christ or something? Is that what it's called? It's pretty brutal. It's pretty fucking brutal. I would put it along the same lines of like gore as that movie. So if you can't handle that kind of stuff, I don't know if you could handle Apocalypto. But it's a crazy story. It's a crazy. But Kaine returned home. She found her grandmother asleep in her bed. Her feet were blackened and raw, even bleeding a bit in places, leading Kaine to think that she had been pacing around the room until exhaustion finally caught up with her. Why are they considering making... Why would they need to? They already got their point across. What would the second one be for? She placed the medicine by her grandmother's pillow and turned to leave, but found the old woman's hand clasped around her arm. "Back already, are you?" asked her grandmother with a yawn. "Come, let me have a look at you." Is Mel Gibson like directing it? Is he producing it? Like who's making the second movie? And also, after all the stuff that like got released with the Epstein files, a lot of people are like, "Oh, you guys think Mel Gibson's still crazy?" Because there's some interviews where he did tell people about like the weird cultish behavior of Hollywood, and him being an outsider made him like a target. And watching those interviews, I'm like, damn, people thought he was crazy. You know, a lot of people are saying, they're like, "Oh my god, and we used to think Alex Jones was crazy. We owe Alex Jones an apology." A lot of conspiracy people are getting apologies all of a sudden. Grandma sat up and examined Kaine from head to toe. Finally satisfied that nothing terrible had befallen her grandchild, she leaned back and allowed herself to relax. "Well, how was it? Those bastards give you any trouble?" "It was kind of fun," said Kaine with a small smile. "No, seriously, it was." "Fun, eh?" asked her grandmother in a voice which implied she believed anything but. "Uh-huh. So anytime you need me to run an errand, just let me know." As she spoke, Kaine removed the crayons from her pocket. After a brief explanation of their source, she informed her grandmother that she was going to sketch her portrait. "A portrait of me? Ridiculous. No one wants to stare at a wrinkled old crone." "But Grandma, it'll make you live forever." "Horse shit," said grandmother, throwing back the sheet from her bed. "Living forever would just piss me off. Now put those crayons away and help with dinner." But Kaine would not relent, and in the end, Grandma found herself leaning against the wall of their house, as if posing for a master artist. Kaine took up the crayons, eyed her subject carefully, and set to work. Just as her grandmother was about to nod off, Kaine finished the piece. After staring at it for a bit, she released it from her grip and let it slowly drift to the floor. Dude, this is... When are we seriously getting to the game? I've been talking for like an hour. An hour already. When is the game gonna start? For real. It's terrible. It doesn't look like you at all. I'm sorry, Grandma. I thought these crayons would, make drawing easy or something. Visual novels. What's visual about this novel? Like I said before, this is a digital book at this point. The old woman's eyes narrowed at her granddaughter's disappointment. "Let me be the judge of that," she said, ignoring the pain in her back and reaching for the paper. The sketch could have been a person's face. It also could have been a boulder, or a lump of clay, or an incredibly misshapen loaf of bread, all rendered in a chaotic array of colors. The old woman stared at the picture for a long time, then slowly wheezed out a laugh. "Oh, Kaine." She laughed, but she said between laughter, "You truly are my blood. You're as clumsy as me, and I love it." But hush, I won't hear any more bull of how ugly you think it is. It came from the heart, and I'll treasure it always. True to her word, the old woman gave the picture a place of honor above the kitchen table. Yay! She put it on the fridge! In the days that followed, Kaine would often catch her staring at the portrait with a strange smile on her face, an action she interpreted as silent, mocking laughter. I was gonna post the OP for the anime I mentioned, but it doesn't really explain anything related to the story. Okay. Posh, said the woman. "I'll take this down when they roll me in my shroud." She pondered this for a bit, and then turned to Kaine and dropped to one knee. "Listen to me, girl. Seeing this picture makes me happy in a way I've never felt before. And it makes me want to go on, so that someday you can feel the same happiness." It was a moment that burned itself in Kaine's memory, a perfect blend of pride, joy, and love that came together to form a lifelong remembrance. She swore to never forget this moment, to never forget the old woman who had made her place in this world possible. Time moves on. People and memories move in and out of life like ghosts passing through a hall. But this moment will be different, Kaine swore, because I will remember it forever. Forever. Oh, chapter 3. Oh my gosh. Kaine listened to the sound of crackling firewood and stared at the black object on her plate. She'd been pushing it around the wooden disc for a good 10 minutes, ignoring the bemused stare of her grandmother. She finally summoned the courage and gave the object a brief sniff. A sharp and bitter scent flew up her nostrils and it made its home there, causing her face to twist with disgust. "Grandma, I can't believe you want me to eat a bug." The old woman threw some more wood under the cooking pot and snorted. "It's not a bug, you fool girl. It's a berry." "Why the hell would I be feeding you bugs?" "Yeah, well, it sure looks like a bug," said Kaine. "And I think it's burnt or something, because it smells terrible." With that, Kaine held her nose and threw the berry in her mouth, chewing as little as possible. "Oh yeah, that's terrible, all right." "Why, you little brat," laughed the old woman. "Look at the sass on you. You've been spending too much time with me, and that's fact." 5 years had passed since the moment when Kaine's grandmother saved her from the bullies. As if often the way with two stubborn people, Their relationship had grown in fits and starts, but moved forward all the same. Meals that used to be somber affairs were now filled with laughter and hurled abuse in equal measure. Kaine could not remember a time where she had been happier. As the years went by, Kaine started to shoulder more and more of the responsibilities. Her grandmother's legs grew weaker by the day, and she could no longer do many of the chores she used to take for granted. And so this morning found Kaine lacing up her work boots with a breakfast of burned berry rolling through her belly. "Where are you going today?" asked Grandma suddenly. Kaine looked up surprised. The old woman rarely asked for specifics anymore. "Well, I was gonna check out the kelma trees and see if they were ripe. I thought we could make some jam or something. Oh, and I'm gonna pick up some flagstones, so I need to take the wheelbarrow." "Flagstones? What the hell for?" Kaine stared at her grandmother, then held out an arm and swept it around their home. Constructed mostly of cloth, rope, and rubble, the old place sagged like a boxer in the final round. "Grandma, a dying cat could chew through this house. I'm going to build a stone wall so we have some protection." The old woman laughed, exposing her toothless grin to the world. "God damn, girl. If a bunch of thieves want to ransack this old place, let 'em come. We got nothing worth stealing anyway." "I'm not worried about thieves. I'm worried about shades. People saw one west of the village yesterday." The old woman tilted her head and stared at her granddaughter. "Well, shoot. I don't know why you had to do it today. We can worry about it some other." "Grandma, no. If I don't go to the kelma trees, we won't eat tonight. You know that." A confused expression passed across the old woman's face, and for a moment, she was a small child lost at a carnival. "Yes," she said after a bit. "Yes, of course you're right. I'm sorry, Kaine. Lately it seems my mind is..." She didn't finish the thought, instead walking over to her nightstand, gently taking the wreath of the lunar tears from the drawer. The flower petals had aged to a brilliant whiteness, and Kaine thought it was more beautiful now than the day she received it. "You're gonna be a true woman soon," Grandma said, as she placed the flowers in the girl's hair. "So that means less chatter about shades and building defense walls, and more talking about how beautiful you've become." Annoyed, Kaine reached up to remove the garland, but the look of her on her grandmother's face stopped her hand. "You're a beautiful thing," said the old woman, "and there ain't nothing like you in the world." "Aww, such a nice grandma. Even if she has a sailor mouth." "I'm very proud of you." "Okay, Grandma. That's enough goddamn compliments for one day." "Such a mouth on you. Where did that come from?" "Gee, I wonder." "I'll teach you to sass me, girl," yelled Grandma. Suddenly, she lurched forward and grabbed Kaine by the ears, pulling her around the room with a crazed grin on her face. "Grandma!" yelled Kaine in a quaking voice. "Grandma, stop! What the hell?" The old woman stared at her and blinked, then slowly held her wrinkled hands out, as if it was the first time she had ever seen them. "Oh, I don't know what happened there. I'm sorry, girl. Sometimes my mind just..." Kaine thought the look on her grandmother's face was the most heartbreaking thing she'd ever seen. "Listen," she began. "Maybe I should stay home after all." "No, I won't have it. I won't have you stay here and keep an eye on an old... Codger?" Like me. I don't know what that word is. You go get your fruit and your wall and whatnot. I'll be fine. And when you come back, I'll have a nice grasshopper dinner waiting for you. Grasshopper. Kaine rolled her eyes, then kissed her grandmother on the forehead and made ready to depart, trying desperately to ignore the worry that was gnawing at the walls of her heart. Kaine could feel the old woman's eyes watching her as she moved down the path. Don't turn around. Don't turn around, she told herself. But in the end, the temptation was too great. She spun on her heel for one final look and saw a small, bent woman standing in front of a ramshacked hut with a sad expression on her face. Gods, she looks so old now. It's like the wind could reach down and just carry her away. Kaine worried about her grandmother all day, causing her work to suffer. What little fruit she could collect tossed carelessly into the wheelbarrow, and she only found a couple of stones before losing interest in the project. Finally, as dusk approached, she decided to call it a day. Cursing herself for the lack of focus, Kaine pushed the nearly empty wheelbarrow back to the path. As she crested the final hill, she suddenly froze in place. The wheelbarrow fell from her fingers and collapsed on its side, sending a few pieces of wrinkled brown fruit rolling down the hill. Her gaze was transfixed by a thick black cloud that hovered just ahead. Tracing its path with a finger, Kaine suddenly felt her stomach knot in on itself. Oh no, gods no. Her grandmother's house was ablaze, the flames licking up as if trying to touch the sky itself. Grandma! Grandma! Kaine ran, then faster than she had ever moved in her life. Once she tripped on a stone and went sprawling into the rocky ground, but she leapt to her feet and continued running, unmindful of the blood that spilled from her wounded hands and knees. As she got closer and closer, Kaine's mind began to race in time with her footfalls. It's too dark. It's too dark. Not just fire. Too much smoke. I gotta save her. I gotta save her. She burst into the front yard and came to a sudden halt, her worst suspicions confirmed. The smoke of the fire was mingling with the thick, inky blackness of an enormous shade. Hi, gamer! Had to AFK for a second. Don't worry, I've had a lot of reading to keep me occupied. Wait, where were we? Hold on. Okay. The massive creature supported itself on 3 twisted feet and achieved balance through the means of a large armored tail. Scales, horns, and claws sprouted from its body in a random chaotic pattern, giving it the appearance of a lizard designed by some insane god. Seeing Kaine, it let out a roar and flicked its tail, sending a small whirlwind spinning around the yard. For a moment, the creature retreated into a shimmery, inky blackness, as if her mind was unable to comprehend that such a thing could actually exist. But then the smell hit her, a blend of rotted meat and excrement. And the horror became real once more. The creature bellowed again, and this time Kaine responded with a scream of her own. You bastard, she thought as she screamed and echoed off the high cliffs around them. It's you or me, let's go. The shade eyed Kaine in bemused interest. Then it began looking from her to the house and back again, as if urging her to look at the destruction it had gleefully wrought. With dread building in her heart, Kaine glanced towards the house through the smoke and flames. She spotted a small figure struggling to escape the ruins. Grandma! At the sound of her voice, the old woman began waving frantically. She's alive, thought Kaine. Alive! Kaine's legs sprang to life as she raced across the yard toward the flaming wreckage of the house. Before she could advance more than a few steps, the shade opened its mouth and let out a roar powerful enough to uproot trees and send them flying. The blast sent Kaine tumbling through the air before smashing her against the rocky earth. Stars danced in front of her eyes as she tried to remember how her legs worked. Get up! Get up! Get up now! As Kaine struggled to her feet, the shade stomped towards the house and pinned her grandmother to the ground with the tip of its claw. The woman struggled to move the claw from her stomach, but she might well have been pushing a mountain. She coughed briefly, sending a small spray of blood into the air, then collapsed to the ground, her energy spent. Kaine lurched to her feet only to fall back to the earth with a gasp. Her ankles were on fire. One or both of them were surely broken. Ignoring the pain that screamed through her body, she began dragging herself across the ground, leaving a drunken trail of dust and blood in her wake. Grandma, hold on. Just a little longer. Her grandmother's face was turning blue, her eyes rolling back until only whites were exposed. Kaine pulled herself across the ground with maddening slowness, the distance seeming to increase every second that passed. The shades glanced between the two women and flicked out its tongue, its giant mouth turning up at the corners. Short panting breaths belched from somewhere deep inside its core. Bastards laughing at us. She had no idea how much a mindless creature could experience emotion, but there could be no doubt the shade was taking joy in their suffering. Yeah, I see your plan. The shade moved its claw slightly, allowing Grandma to breathe again. It was clearly keeping her alive, only to snuff out her life when Kaine was close enough to touch her. I'm gonna kill this bastard. Summoning all her strength, Kaine rose to her feet. There was a sickening snap of her right ankle as her foot twisted backwards, but she forced it from her mind and began to hobble towards the monster. Pulling a small knife from the pouch of her waist, she leapt on the foot that pinned her grandmother and plunged the weapon deep. Give her back! Give her back to me! She screamed. It was like stabbing a rock. After a few swipes, the knife broke at the hilt with a dull snap. The shade panted laughter again, then raised its tail and sent it rushing through the air towards the young girl that was latched to its foot. Kaine never had a chance. The tail struck her square in the chest and sent her crashing into the burning wreckage of the home. As she lay on the ground with blood pouring from multiple wounds, a small, weak voice spoke up. Kaine? Kaine's vision blurred, but she forced herself to focus on the sound. Finally, her eyes cleared, enough for her to make out her grandmother's hands reaching out for her through the smoke. Grandma? Kaine, you gotta run. You can't best this one. Kaine grabbed the hands and held on with all her strength. Grandma, come on, we have to go. The old woman coughed loudly. One of her hands, slick with blood, slipped from Kaine's grasp and thumped to the ground. Grandma. No. No. I said run, goddammit. You have to live. You have to get through. The thought would stay forever unfinished before she could say another word. The shade's clawed foot descended, smashing through the remains of the roof, down upon the shattered figure of the old woman. Blood oozed from gaps in the creature's toes as the terrible putrid smell assaulted Kaine's nose once again. She stared at the foot, dumbfounded, convinced that what she was seeing could not possibly be real. When the creature finally lifted its appendage, all that remained underneath was a twisted, unrecognizable mass of rubble and red. Her grandmother was gone. Kaine blinked, trying to feel the hands which had been in hers just a moment before. For a fleeting instant, she could remember the warmth of that embrace, the trembling of the fingers. But then the sensation drifted away on the breeze and was gone. Memories flashed through Kaine's mind, one after the other, faster and faster, until they became a meaningless jangle of noise. Kaine screamed. Then a thunderous sound that echoed off the cliffs and seemed to roll away forever. The shade eased forward, black ichor pouring from its mouth and dissolving into smoke on the ground below. The earth shook with every step as it crept towards its prey. Kaine's body slowly rose, as if controlled by a mad puppeteer. Her arms and legs were bent at impossible angles. Her head lolled dangerously to the side. Yet somehow she managed to stand. Staring at the shade, her eyes began to glow with a deep red fire. The creature, so confident just a moment before, took a slow, hesitant step back, trying to discern if the broken human could possibly pose a threat. Kaine seized the moment, laughing like a mad woman. She leapt into the air and plunged a shattering hilt of her knife deep into the leg of the shade. The shade shook Kaine off like a fly, sending her crashing to earth once again. Her chest rose and fell slowly, as if a great weight were resting on it. Most sounds of pain echoed through her mind. Something warm and thick oozed from her ear. Is that blood? I think it is. I think I'm bleeding to death. No. Can't die. Grandma told me to live. Deep inside Kaine's mind, something finally broke. The sound, the pain, the smoke and flames. All of it faded away until all that remained was a single incantation, repeated over and over again. Kill it. Kill it. Kill it. Kill it. Kill it now. As the spark that was Kaine slowly began to flicker and die, she felt her desire to kill and her desire to live blend into one. The distance between heartbeats grew longer and longer and longer. Hey, we can actually see something. Hey. Finally. Oh my god. So I guess this is where we're starting the second part of the game.
The beast approaches.
Finally. Only an hour and a half late.
Anger this creature must have. How did it even survive these past 5 years?
I'm not gonna let this happen again. It dies today. My sword feels lighter.
It's not the blade, but the skill of the user. Strike it down.
Oh, by the way, did you guys see my post on Discord? GLaDOS is still alive. No pun intended. I wonder if Kaine was thinking all of that those 5 years she was trapped in there. Like that entire story was just repeating in her head, you know? Oh no, we're back to reading. No! Gently, weakly, softly. The shade sure that its tormentor was dead turned and stomped off towards the horizon, stopping along the way to bellow one final roar. Couldn't kill it. Shame beyond imagining, Kaine turned to her head to the side, but only succeeded in coughing up a huge gout of blood. It was getting difficult to see, and only after a moment of fierce concentration did she realize that her left eye was gone. Laughing to herself, she turned her remaining eye to the ruins of her home and noticed a ragged stump of the arm resting a few feet away. Yeah, that's mine, she thought with a mad giggle. This is gonna make clapping a real bitch. Ha! Cried a sudden voice from the depths of her mind. Finally gonna die, are ya? Well, you had it coming. Go to hell, Demo, she thought at the unseen assailant. Go to hell before I pluck your eyes and feed them to a dog. The voice of her childhood terror evaporated into smoke, only to be replaced by another more recent voice. Hold still, said the apothecary, materializing from the ruins like a ghost. I want to draw you, that way you can live forever. No, stop. I don't want to live forever. I want to die right here. I see, he said quietly. Well, if that's what you want. The spectral shopkeeper fluttered in and out of existence for a moment, then produced a piece of paper and sketched quickly. After a few seconds, he turned the page to Kaine and smiled. Since you rejected my offer, I decided to draw someone else. It was a picture of her grandmother, real as life. Kaine opened her mouth to thank the man, but stopped as the picture began to blacken in the middle. Before she could say anything, dozens of multi-legged insects began to swarm across the image, tearing at it with sharpened pincers. Stop! No, don't hurt the picture! Kaine reached out with her remaining arm and waved futilely. Oh my god, how do I say that? Futilely. Oh my god, I don't know. I can't say that word. At the air. That's a weird looking word. To her surprise, the insects fell off the picture and to the ground below, where they vanished into tiny black tendrils of smoke. Relieved, Kaine turned her good eye back to the picture, only to open her mouth in a silent scream. The sketch now showed her grandmother as she truly was, a smashed, unrecognizable lump of nothing. The apothecary smiled, then broke into a jolly dance. That kind of sounds fucked up. The apothecary smiled, then broke into a jolly dance. See that? He cried as he danced his jig. It's perfect now. She looks just like you. Ha-cha-cha-cha. I look like that? Oh God, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Drowning in despair, Kaine laid her head back in the mud, and smoke of her ruined house waited for the end to come. But just before she let everything go, an unfamiliar voice began to whisper in her ear. "Ain't you got a wish, sunshine?" The voice was vulgar and fierce at the same time, as if insanity had somehow found a way to take form. Kaine wanted to scream as the voice crawled under her skin, but her lungs refused to work. You know, a wish, like a prayer or something? Why don't you get on your knees and start praying to heaven? Please, please, invisible man in the sky, save me. Save me. Ha 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 ha. Kaine finally resorted to shouting at the voice in her mind. I don't make wishes. They don't come true for me. I'm a curse. A freak. I should be left to die. The other voice boomed in her ears. Oh God, you are the best. Kaine glanced down and saw a black shiny substance oozing from her legs. She tried to brush it away, but her remaining arm would no longer respond. The substance slowly crept around her feet and then began moving up towards the rest of her body. Is this death? Is this what it's like? Or is my mind just losing itself? She could feel the slime oozing upward, feeling the hot searing pain it left in its wake. Whatever else might be happening, she was still alive, and this was real. Come on, said the voice. Let it go. Kaine tried to ignore the voice and concentrate on the pain, but the newcomer would have none of it. Don't ignore me, sunshine. You're ready to give up? Ready to die? So why not let me have it? Have what? Your body. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me. I want to stand on the ground, feel the rain, taste the wind. The voice paused, as if licking its lips. When it resumed, it was filled with mad, unabated joy. And I want to take your hands and use them to choke the goddamn life out of people. I want to tear out their throats and bathe in the blood just like before. Oh my God, is this a demon? This sounds like a demon trying to possess her. In response, Kaine shifted her head and vomited. The warmth of it crept down her front and mingled with the pain and encroaching black ooze. Are you a shade? Maybe. What of it? The slime reached her face, creeping up past her nose, and slowly oozed into the sockets of her missing eye. The moment it touched her brain, Kaine was struck with the most powerful sensation she's ever felt in her life. It was ecstasy. She wanted to scream with delight, but all she could manage was a small whispered moan. Feels good, don't it? Asked the voice with a chuckle. Yeah, what can I say? I know how to please the ladies. That's funny. Now give me that body. Come on, give me the body. And I'll give you more of this feeling. It's a fair trade. This sounds so much like a demon. A black lump began to protrude from Kaine's side. As she watched, it grew longer and thicker, eventually taking the form of her missing arm. I can see better, she thought. My eyes must be growing back too. The slime reached up to envelop the rest of her face, but she managed to brush it away. Stop, she whispered, marveling at how she had regained her voice. Stop. The black ooze hesitated, as if considering this request, then quickly shimmered down her body before disappearing in a cloud of smoke. What the hell, sunshine? Screamed the voice. We had a deal. I thought you wanted to die. Grandma said I can't die yet. A brief image of her grandmother bloodied and broken, flashed before her eyes. She saw the shade that had killed her, heard its mocking laughter, then closed her eyes and forced the image from her mind. Her whole body was quaking with rage. When she opened her eyes again, they burned bright red. I have to kill it before I die. Kaine glanced down and saw a mysterious pattern, the pattern of the shade, burn itself into her left arm. Well, I'll be damned, said the voice cheerfully. Look at that, Sunshine. I think you and me are gonna be good friends now. Kaine stared intently at her arm. The more emotional she felt, the more the letters seemed ready to puncture her skin and begin infecting the rest of her body. The arm clearly had a will of its own. Stop. I gotta stop. Holding her left arm in her right, Kaine took a deep breath and tried to calm herself. Come on, don't fight it, pleaded the voice. Hate's my favorite dish and I'm hungry. Let it go, feel the anger, burn with the fire of revenge, thirst for blood, then go out there and... Shut up and get the hell out of my body. Your body? Oh, that's rich, Sunshine, real rich. Look, why don't you just up and die so I can have this body all to myself? What do you say? I bet those buddies of yours in the Eyrie would love to see you dead. Kaine grabbed a nearby shard of glass and tried to saw off the infected portion of her side. Before she could, her darkened left arm grabbed her right and twisted, crushing it. Kaine screamed and dropped the shard as if the sound of the bone crushing on bone filled the air. Stupid idiot girl. You're possessed now, Sunshine, and there ain't no going back. The voice laughed again, a loud, long wail that seemed to go on without end. Possessed? Kaine whispered. Yeah, possessed. You and me. We got what you might call a timeshare arrangement. Remember how folks used to think you were a freak? Well, wait till they get a load of you now. Kaine looked up, tears in her eyes. The sky seemed smaller somehow, darker. Is this because of that shade? Is this how they see the world? So, listen, purred the voice. I know this whole possession thing seems a bit sudden, but it ain't all bad. There's plenty in it for you, too. I'm a very powerful creature, Sunshine, and now that power belongs to you. You got enemies? People you want to kill? I can make that happen. That little fat kid who kept picking on you? That big old shade that squashed your granny? We'll wrap them up in their own assholes. No more abuse for you, Sunshine. No more pain. Wait, said Kaine. You're a shade. Why would you help me kill another shade? What, you think I'm some kind of racist? Some killing snob? I don't give a good goddamn who you murder. Honey pants. Honey pants. I just want a drink from the well. Kaine considered this as she struggled to her feet, the power of the shade coursing through her. The smoke from her house was drifting away with the wind, and she enjoyed the way the cool evening breeze felt on her new left arm. After a long pause, the voice spoke up again. So, how about it? You and me. We could have some good times together. Look, I'll even take care of the bloody part if you don't want to. Fuck off, asshole, muttered Kaine. I'll handle the killing. Ha ha ha, screamed the voice. Look at you go. Oh, Sunshine, we're gonna have so much fun. So listen, my name is Tyron. And if you ever need me, I'll just be hanging out in the piece of meat called your heart. Now get to it. The more you kill, the more your heart turns rotten and sour, and I like rotten and sour. Kaine found herself nodding at the voice. Yeah, she said. Yeah, I think this can work. I'm gonna find that shade. I'm gonna strangle it with its own guts. And when I'm done, I'm gonna do the same to you, Tyron. Count on it. Ha! Laughed Tyron. I've shipped bigger than you, so good luck with that. Oh, and hey, one more thing. Right now, you and me are sharing this body. But if you ever run out of hate, if you ever, go soft, then I'm just gonna take over everything. So keep on killing, sunshine, and watch your back. The voice grew fainter and gradually faded away, fading to somewhere deep inside Kaine herself. Kaine waited until she was sure the voice was gone, then waved her new left arm around for a few times. It feels perfectly normal, she thought, as it feels like mine. Desperately, she began poking and prodding at the new limb, determined to find something wrong with it. She didn't want to feel normal. That would mean the creature inside her had already won. I'm not a shade. I'm Kaine. Repeating this mantra to herself, she slowly began digging through the rubble of her house, being careful to ignore a certain red-stained spot in the corner. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of heartbreaking work, she found what she was looking for. It was the wreath of the lunar tear. Though it had been through hell and back, the garland's petals were as bright as ever. Kaine started to place it in her hair, then slowly lowered the wreath and stared at it. I'm sorry, Grandma. I'm so sorry. But I don't deserve to wear this anymore. I'm possessed, corrupted, a freak. And this time, I don't think there's any going back. Holding the flowers to her heart, Kaine fell to the ground and sobbed. As nightly gradually lightened to dawn and the people of the area arose to their daily lives, she remained in that position as if tears could somehow wash away the horror that now infected her world.
Alive! Stay alive! Stay alive!
Grandma.
Kaine, you gotta live! You gotta come back to us!
Oh, hey.
Aww, Emil is so cute.
Emil, you were the one calling me, weren't you?
You still recognize me?
Of course. I knew you right away.
Aww.
Thank you, Kaine.
Oh, Emil.
Welcome back, Kaine.
Wow, you grew up. So, how long has it been?
5 years.
Puberty hit him like a ton of bricks.
Shit. That's a long time.
I hope we're not gonna have to read more like that. Oh my god.
Any luck with you?
Almost 2 hours. 2 hours of me I was in audiobook for like 2 hours just now. crazy. No, my last Tostitos! I just finished my last Tostitos.
We are still no closer to finding her. We need
Yap
a way
stream.
to locate the Shadow Lord.
By the way, this is for you.
Is that a lunar tear?
It's not as good as your grandmother's, but I tried.
No, it's great. Thank you.
Kylie waking from her long petrified sleep. Emil's unflagging kindness. Our reunion was a happy one, and we let it wash over us like rain. That is, until Devila and Popola had to go and ruin it all.
Bitches.
Are you kidding me? You can't be serious!
Please, try to understand.
You know, the first playthrough I tried to understand.
People are tired.
I
and
already
scared,
tried.
and I'm
It don't
sorry.
make no sense.
I'm sorry you have to bear the brunt of that.
That's ignorant.
This is crap, and you
These
know it.
villagers are ignorant.
It's okay. We can sleep outside.
No one's sleeping outside. You and Kaine saved this village, and now they want to run you out?
People are afraid of us. And really, I understand. I mean, look at me.
But you know what, low-key, you're pretty cute though, Emil. I think his design is cute. I don't think it's creepy at all.
As long as you're still with us, I can deal with it. Right, Kaine?
I've seen scarier and uglier looking people in this village.
I'm used to sleeping outside.
But
We'll see you later.
Sorry about this.
No, you're not. Bitch, shut up. People look at him and go, yo, is that Yoko Taro? Yeah.
What is the matter?
It's Yoko Taro. Now we know what happened to his mask. Did you guys hear that he lost his mask? I forget how long ago it was, but I guess he said that he lost his mask, like at a convention.
Kaine always sleeps outside. I never thought about
Yeah.
that until just now.
And then he did like a panel with a brand. He went to a Halloween store to look for a replacement, like a temporary replacement mask, because he had to like do a panel, and he wore the stupidest mask. It was pretty funny. I think there's like videos of it like on YouTube, but it was pretty funny. Man, I wonder who took his hat. I wonder who took his is it a helmet? I wonder who took it.
Never even occurred to me. Damn it.
We should turn in.
I didn't get much sleep that night. For the first time in my life, I hated Devila.
Oh, it's not gonna be the last, bro. Just you
For the
wait.
first time in my life, I doubted Popola.
Just you wait, bro. Just
But
you
those
wait.
feelings are pointless in the end. They said and did what they did for the sake of the village.
This is what they say.
To protect it from the horror of the Shades. Really, how can I blame Devila and Popola? In the end, I'm just as bad.
Why? What'd you do?
Because I never once stopped to think about Kaine and Emil's situation myself.
What you mean?
I should apologize to Kaine and Emil. But what good would that even do?
I got a fire going, Kaine.
Wait, is that...
Campfires are weird, aren't they? I'm so happy to get to talk to you again, Kaine.
Aww. So we get to see a little clip of them hanging out together. That's cute. The last playthrough, all we did was hear what they did. Now we get to see. It's almost 1 a.m. Dude, I know. It's almost 10 p.m. for me. I'm just like, really? I get to start the game 2 hours after I like read for 2 hours? I'm gonna try and at least get a little bit of, like, maybe an hour more in. Maybe. I'll try and do at least an hour more just so I can at least get past the story a little.
Yeah, me too.
I tried everything I could think of to save you, you know.
Aww.
I polished you with a special cloth. I poured warm water over you.
Aw, he took such good care of her.
Wait, you poured water on me?
So you wouldn't get dusty.
Yeah, but it didn't really do much except make you all shiny.
Well, that's nice. At least you kept her shiny and clean.
Hey, Emil. Thanks for saving me.
I guess you noticed how I look different now.
I'm sorry, Emil. I'm sorry for all of it.
Well, I mean, this new form isn't all bad, you know?
I don't think it's bad at all. I think it's adorable. I think you look cuter this way rather than in your child form.
At least I can look at you when we talk, right? Hey, so why don't you tell me something about yourself?
So this is what they do when I'm not around? I'm so jealous. I'm still jealous. Pick me. Choose me. Love me.
I'm not very interesting. Sorry.
Lies. I literally just read your entire biography. Not interesting, she says.
Come on. I just want to know you better. Please?
He saved your life, girl. Give him something.
Fine. This all happened when I was a kid. Before the whole shade possession thing.
Okay.
My body is different. And when the villagers found out about it, they started treating me like a freak. But one person, my grandmother, accepted me just as I was.
Good night, Kipo.
No matter how bad things got, she gave me the strength to keep going.
She's really special to you, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, hey! That gives me an idea. Since we cured your petrification, we should start looking for a way to cure your possession in my body. I know we can do it if we all work together. Heck, it'll probably be super easy.
Let me guess. More warm water?
Yeah, what's wrong with warm water?
Okay, can we just forget I told you about that?
Sleep well?
Sure.
And yet your red eyes tell a different tale. Don't be so hard on yourself, lad.
I need to go see Devila and Popola.
Very well. What might that be?
It's Mom's diary.
I've not heard you speak much about your mother.
She got the Black Scrawl and died when I was little.
My apologies for bringing it up.
It's all right. I can barely remember her face anymore. This is the only thing I have left of her. Reading it helps remind me of when we were still a family.
I see.
But the final entries get a little strange.
In what way?
Well, Here.
Was this book available the first time we played?
Take a look.
Say there. Can you not hear me? Why are you standing about like a slack-jawed ninny?
Who's this?
Felt like I was dreaming or something.
Who's this?
Sleeping on one's feet is quite the talent indeed.
What?
Come now, there's the door.
Is this
Right.
me? What the fuck?
Let's go.
What? Puberty just hit me with like a nuclear bomb. What? Who is this person all of a sudden? What the fuck? Okay, all right, okay, yeah. Let's focus on the goal here. Let's not get distracted by this random. Let's see. Proceed beyond this point, and you will be unable to save until the battle is over. Do you want to go through the door? Sure, why not? I got the power of Weiss and anime on my side. I don't have anything to worry about. This is the world of the recycled vessels. Created... What? Wait a second. Oh god, what the... Oh, what the... What? This music is reminding me of Devil May Cry. I don't know why. The Black Scroll lost... What? Oh my gosh, I just noticed how low my HP is. Oh my goodness. That just scared me. Okay. Soldier of the Salt calling forth the White Death. Oh, I need to turn this off. Start, dang it. Can I try again? Can I try again? Dang it.
My word.
Something wrong?
I feel as if I've just awoken from a most unpleasant dream.
I know what you mean. That happens to me whenever I read it.
Dang. Should we try again? I wonder if there's like a point to all this. I'm kind of curious.
The diary again?
Yeah.
The world of the recycled vessel.
I'm gonna try again. There has to be a point to all this, right? Can I just jump all the way down? No, I'd probably die. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. When is this part gonna be over? Whew. Oh gosh. What are we in now? Oh, it's this armored guy again. Dang it. Oh! Oh! Oh guys, these guys are armored. Ooh! Ah! Dang it! Ooh, that was close. Ah! Oh gosh! Dang it! Oh gosh. Oh, maybe I need to change my magic. Let's try and use the lance. Oh gosh! Oh no! Dang it, again. Okay, never mind. I think we did this part already. Ah! Dang it! I thought I could have made that jump. Ooh, that was close. Ah! Dang it!
My word.
Something wrong?
I feel as if I've just awoken.
I know what you mean.
Dang it. Okay, fine. Whatever. We'll try that again later.
I should talk to Devila first.
What is she, down by the well?
Hey,
Oh, hi. I kinda thought you'd never talk to us again.
I understand you're doing this for the village, and that you don't have a choice.
Pretty much, yeah. But look, why don't you go talk to Popola? I think she wanted to discuss the Shadow Lord with you.
I'm headed there next. Oh, and Devila,
Yeah?
sorry about yesterday. I shouldn't have lost my temper like that.
You don't need to apologize. Anyone would be upset when their friends are hurting. Let Emil and Kaine know that we're sorry, alright?
All right.
Two-faced. I don't like either of these sisters.
Popola?
Oh. Hello.
Look, I want to apologize for
Stop. You didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, but neither did you. You're just trying to protect the villagers. And I jumped down your throat for it.
It's very kind of you to say so. Regardless, please don't let it trouble you.
Ahem. I believe there was something you wished to discuss with us.
Oh, right. Yes, about that. You know about the lost shrine, right?
The temple where I was first discovered.
That's it. Well, it seems that the Shadow Lord's lair is connected to it somehow.
Oh ho. It was right under our pages the whole time.
It's as if they knew this all along and kept it from us.
But the bridge that leads there is unusable.
So take a boat.
A boat?
Yes, the canal's finally been repaired. It took a lot longer than expected, what with the shades and all. I also asked them to provide a boat at the path to the Lost Shrine's back entrance. The ferryman will let you use it free of charge. That should make it easier for you to move from town to town.
Thanks, Popola. I feel like you've done so much for me. I'm really grateful. All right, I'll see you around.
Two-faced snake in the grass.
And for the love of everything, be careful.
I hate you guys so much. You guys are such liars. Now knowing what I know now about you, I don't like you guys. And I'm not talking about chat. I'm talking about Popola and Devila. They two-faced.
The path above the entrance to the shopping district should lead to the boat landing.
How excellent to know the canal is finished. Hopefully this puts our days of running all over behind us.
The faster we can move, the faster we can save Yona. Let's use it as often as we need.
Alright guys, it's getting late for me. It's almost 11 p.m. So I think this is where we're gonna call it for today. Thank you guys for stopping by to this really random late stream. I hope you guys enjoyed my 2-hour audiobook of Kaine's biography. Have a great night if it's nighttime for you. If it's daytime, have a great rest of your day. And I'll see if I can get on tomorrow. But until then, until our next stream, stay cozy. I'll see you guys when I see you, okay?